Diddy was hit with a new lawsuit from a former contestant of Making the Band. We're going to go ahead and deep dive this lawsuit against Diddy by a man claiming that he was 17 years old and abused by Diddy while he was auditioning for Making the Band. And we're going to analyze these claims with Dawn Richard's lawsuit against Diddy, who was on season 3 and season 4 of Making the Band, and see how similar they kind of are. So this lawsuit comes from a John Doe who is seeking damages for SA that allegedly happened at an audition of Making the Band. The lawsuit claims it's going to show how Sean Combs allegedly conducted himself for many years and how many individuals and entities felicitated and conspired with this conduct. This man claims that Diddy believed that he was above the law, and he is not. 2008, this man was 17 years old and participated in a 3-day audition for Making the Band, having seen the opportunity online and through newspaper advertisements. During the audition process, this man claims that he went to a stage where contestants met individually in private rooms with Diddy and his bodyguard. On the first day of the audition, during a one-on-one interview, Diddy asked him questions about handling situations that involved pressure. He alleged that as Diddy described these scenarios, he began to SA him by touching him both over and under his clothing, including touching his private areas and instructing him to undress himself. He claimed that while Diddy was touching him, he began to pleasure himself, and throughout this encounter, Diddy emphasized his power to control his future in the music industry, stating that he had the ability to make or break his career. This man claimed that during the second interview that lasted longer, Diddy instructed him to undress himself again, explaining that he needed to demonstrate his ability to embody a sex idol persona, which was purportedly required for the band's image. And claimed that this encounter eventually escalated into Diddy forcing him to perform acts on him, and then Diddy SA'd him. Diddy continued to use his power to control his future in the music industry, and on the third day, Diddy allegedly introduced his bodyguard into these advances. He said that Diddy would use this as a test to see if he was willing to do anything necessary to succeed in the music industry. The bodyguard T requested oral from him, and he had to comply due to force. He said that Diddy allegedly SA'd him again, simultaneously touching both him and the bodyguard. Claimed that he began to show his discomfort and hesitation from this ordeal, and alleged that Diddy began to show dissatisfaction, and said that his demeanor sounded like he was going to have an intention to report the incident. He alleged that Diddy looked at him and said that he would be keeping an eye on him, and ultimately this led to him being eliminated from the competition. And based on the dates of these alleged offenses, it's sounding like that this season was probably season 11 of Making the Band. And Dawn Richard's lawsuit against Diddy talked about times during Making the Band and how allegedly horrible it was. Dawn Richard's lawsuit against Diddy claimed that during the auditions on the set of Making the Band, Diddy would use his wealth and power, and he regularly wore sunglasses to avoid looking female contestants in the eyes, contributing to an atmosphere of uncertainty and intimidation. She alleged that these auditions were hostile, and Diddy would allegedly speak to these female contestants in a hostile and condescending manner. She even claimed that once the band was already made, that Diddy would continue to display aggressive and hostile behavior. In 2005, during the first season of Making the Band, she saw Diddy's ex-partner Kim Porter leaving Diddy's recording studio in tears with visible facial injuries, including a lacerated lip. She said this is when she first allegedly realized that Diddy was capable of committing acts of violence against women. She alleged how she saw Diddy abuse Cassie in 2006. They tried to help Cassie, and they told Cassie that she needed to leave Diddy after this incident happened, and she alleged that Diddy would look at her and say, "If you say anything, there will be consequences," and warned that people end up missing. It sounds a lot like the threats that were allegedly given to the 17-year-old boy. In or around November 2009, after the Soul Train Awards in Atlanta, Georgia, Diddy allegedly flew out Miss Richard and Miss Harper to his house in New York on his private jet for an after party. There were many well-known celebrities at this after party and a lot of substances that were being openly consumed. And upon information and belief, Diddy had arranged for dozens of young women and girls, some who appeared to be underage, to be transported to the party. These women arrived wearing little to no clothing and were given these substances and alcohol. Many appeared to be lethargic or passed out while Diddy allegedly performed acts on them. This after party was in 2009 when this lawsuit from this boy claiming that he was abused was in 2008. In my opinion, I honestly feel like we're going to hear from more people that were in the era of making the band, but you guys let me know what you guys think about this new lawsuit against Diddy from a boy who claimed that he was abused while auditioning for making the band.